How's it going, guys? In this video, I want to show you my favorite World of Chel builds from the beta. These are the ones I basically use the most often. I feel like they're all very good in their own scenario. So starting off here, loadout number 1 is my EASHL forward. I mainly play 3-on-3, sometimes play 6-on-6. So most of these builds are more catered towards 3-on-3, which means they're faster. I feel like if you're playing 6-on-6, you don't need as much speed, you need more strength and balance. So keep that in mind when I'm going through these. So for this, I have a 2-way forward, just to give me a very balanced build. 5'11", 187 gives them a good amount of speed. Shoot left is every single one of my players. Primary trait there, quick first step, boost acceleration. You can see it's 90, it's pretty solid. Core balance, he has a balance of 78, which is pretty good, I think, for a speedy forward. Specialty there, Marathon Man. I think I have this on every one of my skater loadouts. In my opinion, it's the best specialty to have. Slight increase to endurance. It just basically makes you faster. You can absorb hits better. You can get up faster. Overall, it's just kind of the specialty I think has the biggest impact on the gameplay. So yeah, I recommend using Marathon Man if you aren't. Offense there, you can see decent wrist shot, could be a bit better. Slap shot's not bad. Hands are very good, 85 hand-eye, 83 passing, 84 puck control. Offensive awareness and defensive awareness are both solid. Stick check, shot block as well. So again, like this is if you're playing 3-on-3, playing 6-on-6, you're actually going to play a two-way center. It's fast enough, you can get up and down, you can still produce offensively. I think it's just a very solid all-around build. I mean, yeah, it's basically like kind of like the best all-around center build I think you can make. Pogi, Chel Tips, you guys know him, is actually one who kind of made this. I think his might be slightly different, but it's pretty much the same thing. Next here we have my EASHL Defenseman. So again, this is more catered towards 3-on-3, definitely. I feel like if you're playing 6s, you don't need this much speed, but as you can see, he's 5'9", 170. He's a puck-moving defenseman. Puck-moving is by far my favorite defensive class. Just so fast, hands are so nice. I find it just feels the best when playing with. I noticed the traits are messed up, so I just fixed them. Primary trait there is quick first step. As you can see, 88 speed and 92 acceleration. Honestly, this class is so fast. I'll sometimes even use it on the wing just because it's so fast. You can just flap the ice, get on breakaways. But as a defenseman in 3-on-3, like you're easily able to get up in the rush, produce offensively, and if there's like something that goes wrong, you can hustle back. And so many times, I'll beat forwards up the ice, and then I'll beat the other team back. Like, it's that fast if you're smart, too, with your energy. Obviously, that's where Marathon Man plays a big role. Secondary trait, I use laser passing. This is definitely open to kind of interpretation. You can play around with it. I just like it as it, when I'm playing defense, I'm usually trying to be more of a playmaker than a shooter, so definitely helps with your stretch passes, things like that. Even just, cycling in the zone. As you can see, the shot's not that great. It's pretty accurate. The power's not there, so you're definitely going to be more of just kind of wrist shots from the slot. You can clap sometimes and score, especially if it's a human goalie. Computer goalie, not going to be as good of a chance. Hand-eye 79's okay, but after that, you have 92 passing, 89 puck control, 87 deking, 90 offensive awareness. Like, those are sick. Defensive stats aren't too bad either. And of course, the big thing with him is your speed. The balance and strength aren't really there. Again, you're flying up and around the ice. Very, very fast. Just kind of like the ultimate playmaking defenseman. Honestly, I'm a huge fan of this build, especially 3-on-3. If you're playing 6s, definitely make them a bit bigger, add a bit of balance and strength. And the next build here, guys, I've gone over before. This is my ones loadout. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of it. I've had a ton of people tweeting me how they got their first diamond win using this build, so clearly it works. It's a power forward, max height, max weight, so 6'7", 260. Primary trait there, brute strength. I believe boosts strength, durability, fighting skill. Core balance, boosts the balance. Marathon Man in ones, very good for helping to absorb hits and just having that extra speed as he's not that fast. So if you do have that higher energy bar, it'll help you a little bit. As you can see, just kind of a very balanced offensive stats with great balance and strength. He pretty much does everything the Enforcer does, just better. I did, play around with the Enforcer a little bit and had some fun as he delivers even bigger hits. I think if you do a max height and weight Enforcer, he's like 6'9", 270, and he'll have 1 extra balance and 1 extra strength with, I think, 5 extra body checking, but his offensive stats are so much lower. In my opinion, it's not worth it. This class is just so good all around. 87 puck control as well is huge for ones. As there's no penalties in ones, so they can just spam poke check, and obviously that puck control really helps in holding onto the puck. But yeah, like this class is so good. Basically does it all. Speed, excel, you really don't need that much in ones. Even after the update, this class is still fast enough where I think the Enforcer got even worse after the update because of how slow it is. And next up, guys, I actually have another ones class. As you can see, it's titled Another Ones. This was actually recommended to me by somebody in a Twitch chat. I call this basically like a heavy sniper. which is huge for ones, and it's honestly a very sick class. My second favorite behind the power forward. So sniper class, clearly 6 foot 200, that's max height and weight. Basically makes him a lot tougher to push around. You can see there, 79 balance, 77 strength, which is pretty good, honestly. You have to take into fact, too, just the height and weight. Like, the stats aren't the only thing that matters. The height and weight definitely play a part, too. We have quick wrister as the primary trait. In ones, if you're using this class, honestly, you can walk in and just snipe from the slot. You can snipe from weird angles. Your backhand goes in pretty much every time. You get that clear-cut breakaway, do a forehand backhand. Secondary trait there, obviously, core balance to give you that extra balance and strength. That's basically what this class is for. You're trying not to get knocked down and just keep ripping it from the slot. I've had multiple, like, 10-goal games of this class. I'm a huge fan of it. You can see slap shot's not too great, but you can still slap it from the slot, as that's kind of like an OP way to score in ones. Hands are decent. Offensive awareness is insane, which doesn't matter too much. Defensive stats really don't matter, but they're there. Speed is pretty good for ones as well, like 84. If they're rocking power forward, enforcer, most classes basically, unless it's a speed class, you're still going to be faster then. So this class, kind of like the two-way forward, is very, very good when you use it in the right scenario. I'm a huge fan of it. And I'll usually kind of cycle between this and the power forward just to mix it up. And then the final one here, guys, this is my need for speed class. This is actually the fastest class you can build. You can build it as either a Stangler or a Sniper. Both of them you can get down to 5'7". No other class gets that short. 160 the weight. As you can see there, primary trait, quick first step for the boosted acceleration. Secondary trait, quick wrister, just to help out the wrist shot a little bit. Speed 90, acceleration 93. This class is too fast. Like, I was using it in threes, and it was just up and down in that little rank. It was insane. Same with ones. You're just too fast. If you get hit, you're, like, done for. So I definitely just recommend using it in, like, 3-on-3 is definitely where it's best. Threes arcade, if they're not hitting you too much, because like they can just hit you like interference and they get away with it. But it's a lot of fun to use, obviously, just to try out. Agility there, 87, still pretty high. Endurance too, with the Hairclaw Man, like you're flying constantly. 2 being the Dangler, you can see sick hands on him, 90 D keen. So not only is this like a very fast class, I also like to use it to try with some DX, score some sick goals and breakaways. And obviously with that speed, you have a much higher chance of getting on that breakaway. So the defensive stats are not there at all. This is just a for fun, fast class, some sick hands, and you can try and score some sick goals. And then next here, guys, we have my goalie class. So I barely played any goalie. I only played a couple games. This is definitely the one I found to be the best. So it's a hybrid goalie. I think hybrid gives you like the best balance of stats. 6'5", so the tallest you can make him. Obviously, the taller the better. Just makes like more body to go through to score. 199 pounds. So that's like the sweet spot. So look at this. You go down to 198. He loses 1 rebound control. 89, 88. You go up to 200, loses 1 agility, 1 speed, so 199 is like the sweet spot there. The primary trait, I actually have nothing. Reason being, his stats are pretty good, as you can see. No matter what you put on the primary trait spot, it takes away a lot. So 5-hole, you lose a ton from glove and stick high. Up high, you lose a lot of lows. Obviously, the opposite's true for down low. Quick recover I have as the second slot, just so it doesn't affect it as much. Here you can see like the 5-hole will go down to 79. Now, 5-hole is not that important, but you need at least a decent 5-hole, I think. Puck player, I feel passing is irrelevant, so I'm not even going to bother lowering the poke check, even though poke check you don't need that much either, but I'd rather just keep the poke check higher than the passing. And then flying poke check, you lose 5-hole again, where poke check passing I don't think are more important than the 5-hole in my opinion. So that's why I basically just run quick recover 2 here, secondary trait. Lowers 5-hole a little bit to an 84, but I think the recover is more important, especially at 93. You can make a save, be a little bit out of position, you move over, it'll help you kind of get into that spot. And if 84 5-hole is good enough, like if you think about your games, you don't score 5-hole very often in this game, so 84 is good enough. You can see there, all the reflexes are all 87, 90 breakaways, 90 poke checks, still 89 rebound control. The speed and agility are 90, vision's 92, 87 endurance, like he does it all pretty much. For specialty, I use one-time wonder. I feel like this is definitely a personal preference. As you can see there, slight increase of save ability when facing a one-timer shot. So the reason for this is like the shot that I think you face the most when playing club, whether it's 3-on-3 or 6s. So having this just helps you out, especially too. Sometimes one-times you have like no chance on. This gives you at least somewhat of a chance if it's not a perfect one-timer. Looking at the other ones, I feel they don't add as much. Like you get more one-timer shots on you than deflections. Cross crease, you could also use. Like I think they're kind of interchangeable. One-timers is probably more from out far. Cross creases is obviously closer in. You know what, speaking of that, let's go cross crease, because I'm thinking about it. I get more cross creases when they're up close. I think, you know what, cross crease if it's 3-on-3, because there's more open space, they're going to get closer to you. one time if you're playing sixes. I think that's probably the difference in my mind. Puck control, I don't really think any of these are that great in my opinion. Especially like increased save ability in the final minutes of the third period. Like, what if you're up? Like, I don't know. So yeah, I think cross crease for 3-on-3, and then one time there if you're playing sixes. That's just my personal opinion, but definitely that is like the kind of framework for the best goalie. I actually learned about this goalie from Crease Police, so if you guys don't know about him and John OLL, they're two great goalies. Definitely know more than me, but that's kind of the build I've been using. And I'm not sure when you guys are watching this, so I'm not going to show you the second goalie yet as a kind of like a joke goalie. So if you've seen that video already, you know what it is, and if you haven't, I don't want to spoil it. Basically though, you only need one goalie class, and that's the one I run. So if you have any questions all about my loadouts, feel free to leave them in the comments section. Obviously, have about a month here to work out the kinks and figure out the best loadouts for once the game officially releases in September. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave that thumbs up. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. On the road to 100K, and need you guys' help. Have a nice day, guys. Goodbye.